Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about how I managed to get my hair like, it was like a bleach blonde white. I'm going to insert some pictures for you guys to see what it used to look like, because now I've got it a little bit more ash. On camera it still looks white, so you'll basically get it a similar colour to the bottom of my hair here. So I wanted to talk about how I got it so blonde and what steps I did to achieve that with you guys. If you're interested in finding out how to do this, then just keep watching. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the process I went through first of all to get it like a nice blonde, because naturally my hair is like, it's kind of like a dark blonde mousy brown colour. That's my natural hair colour. So when I was about 15 I started getting highlights, and I had them done at the hairdressers just to like lift my hair overall, and it looked, I was really happy with it to start off with because I really wanted like really light hair, but at the hairdressers obviously they're a bit hesitant when you're asking for like white hair, because they're a bit like, what are you doing? But yeah, so I put on highlights, but it didn't get it as blonde as I wanted it to be. So I took matters into my own hands and had a bit of an experiment. I found that it's called Jerome Russell Bblonde. I haven't dyed my hair in about a year. These are like highlights, by the way. Jerome Russell's Bblonde is what I used to get it so blonde. I'll insert some pictures now. So now you've seen like how my hair used to look and how blonde it was. It probably still looks very similar on camera because it looks a lot lighter for some reason, but in person it's like an ashy, it's like an ash blonde, like baby blonde, as it were. I don't know, if you can follow my Instagram you'll see what it looks like now, like on a normal day-to-day basis. This just looks really like light. I love this colour, by the way. What I did is, you can either get a bleach kit which has the cream peroxide and the bleach powder in. I think it's 30 vol they give you for the cream peroxide when you buy it in the kit, or you can buy them separately and you can get the bleach packets. I think it's called, I don't know what it's called, but you basically get a box of 3 bleaches. It's still Jerome Russell Bblonde, but you just get the bleaches on their own, and then you buy the peroxide separate, either 30 vol or 40 vol, and it's really cheap, to be honest, and it saves me so much money, or did save me so much money, than going to the hairdressers and pay like 70, 80, 90 quid to get it done, and sometimes it doesn't even look as good, well, or as white as you want it to. Depending on your hair colour, obviously it's going to take differently, so you'll need different volumes. I used to use the 30 vol most of the time because I just found that worked better with my hair and it didn't damage it as much. Dyed it with Jerome Russell's Bblonde for about 3 years, and to be fair, even though I did dye it, I dyed it every 8 weeks-ish. So obviously that's a lot of bleach and people will be like, oh my god, girl, you're crazy. But no, I did this. I want your hair to be that blonde. I'm not saying this is the only way to do it, this is just my experience of how I got it so blonde. So yeah, I just wanted to share with you because I would appreciate the advice 3 years ago when I was trying to find something. So it's just an option, you don't have to do it, it's just what I did. I did this for about 3 years after getting highlights to get my hair lighter first, and when I dyed it I usually only just did the roots after the initial dye. So the first time I dyed it I put it all over my hair and it all lifted quite well because it was the same colour, like the highlights weren't too blonde, so it was just this, it just came out the same colour all over. And then when I needed to like re-dye it like 8 weeks later, I just did my roots to make sure I wasn't damaging this continuously. There are some cons to having such blonde hair because it's so high maintenance. I'm not exaggerating, it is really high maintenance. You have to look after it, otherwise it's going to fall out and you're going to have breakages, and you just need to look after it really well and keep an eye on it. Like when you're bleaching it, you don't want to bleach it too often and things like that. It should not, well, it does help, but it wouldn't like stop the breakages, because when I used to dye my hair or bleach my hair myself, I used to get a lot of breakages, like get clumps of hair fall out, like not massive clumps, but the last few times I dyed it I was starting to get a little bit like, oh, I need to stop. I got like loads, but it's noticeable, and I was just like, right, I need to get my hair in better condition, because bear in mind I did that for 3 years, every 8 weeks. You can imagine my hair, it did take quite a lot of damage. But yeah, so basically the cons of dyeing your hair so blonde are that you get breakages quite often. Depend on how like long you leave in between it, it's going to depend on how healthy your hair's going to be between dyes. So I'd leave it as long as possible to bleach it if you're going to do what I did. So another con would be when you dry your hair, it does take a long time. At the minute with this sort of colour hair, it takes me about 10 minutes ish, maybe a little bit less, to dry it completely and be fine. With the hairdryer, that is, not like natural dry. But when I had bleach blonde hair, it used to take me like double the time, easy. Like, and there's a reason for this, because when I went to the hairdresser and she was a bit like, oh, what have you done to your hair? Because I used to get my hair cut by someone else. I went to a new hairdresser who's my mum's friend, and she was like, oh my god, why have you got that colour hair? Like hairdressers, they're just like scared of it, I swear. There's a reason why the hair takes so long to dry, and basically when you bleach your hair so much and there's no colour in there, so you get a hair strand and basically the hair is just absorbed with water, so it takes ages to dry because there's so much water in it that there's no pigment. And the final con that I found is when I bleached my hair so much that it didn't grow as quick. Obviously when you dye your hair a lot, you probably would find that your hair growth slows down a little bit, and that's just because of the damage you've done to your hair. Everyone suffers with it. Everyone suffers with it. So yeah, that is the last con I found. It's quite price effective, to be fair, if you use the products that I suggested. It's not too expensive as long as you just, well, it can be expensive, but it can also be cheap. It depends what products you want to use and what you want your hair to look like, I suppose, like with heat and stuff like that. So along with dyeing my hair, I used purple shampoo, and you can get this from like Boots or supermarkets. I think Tesco does it, or Body Care if you have a body care shop, that also does it, and you can get it quite cheap. I think I pay about £4 to £5 for a bottle of shampoo. Sometimes I'll get the conditioner because it doesn't make your hair as purple if you leave it on too long, like I always do. Leave it on too long, you can just like rinse it out again or wash your hair again, because it does come out, it doesn't stay in, it's not like a dye. And basically what the purple shampoo does, if you didn't know, is it removes any brass that you might have in your hair, and it makes it more like an ashy grey tone, if that's the look you're going for. So instead of having like a goldeny blonde, it will turn it ash. That's what that does. So along with the purple shampoo and the hair dye, I used to have to obviously keep my hair in nice condition so it was soft, so it doesn't feel like you've just dyed in, it's like, hey, disgusting, this dry. Yeah. I used to use hair masks, so like I used to get deep conditioners to make sure the moisture would stay in and it wouldn't feel all horrible to touch. It would feel really like soft and smooth like normal hair should. If I didn't use them, my hair would be really, really dry. Obviously because the bleach and the volume of the bleach is quite high. I used to use a lot of hair masks when I did that. I do still use them with this, I just don't use them as much because my hair has more oil in it now. It's not as bleached and dry, so it's got healthier from not bleaching it. But for bleached hair it was quite healthy, I'd say. Like sometimes you see people with really like white hair that dye it continuously and dye it all over, and it just looks so dry and like it's gonna break. But mine, even though it was dry and it wasn't in the best condition, like it still felt soft. It didn't feel like it was a horrible straw feeling, so it wasn't too bad. I really liked having it and it didn't feel horrible. Like I didn't have short hair either, as you can see from the photos. It was quite long still. So yeah, as well as using hair masks and purple shampoo along with the dye or the bleach, whatever you guys want to call it, it basically is bleach, it's not dye. I used to use Moroccan oil, and basically what this does is it just, it's the best stuff for your hair. Well, in my opinion, it just made my hair so soft. So basically when you wash your hair, I used to put this on before, was it before? I think it was before, yeah. So basically I used to towel dry my hair, and then I would put some of this Moroccan oil on it, like just on the ends usually, or any really dry patches. And what this would do is it would just make it soft and smooth and feel nice, and also it used to smell really good. So I'd finish drying it off or leave it to dry naturally, and it would feel so soft, and that would help me like maintain looking like I've got healthy hair. I hope you enjoyed watching my video on how I got my hair bleach blonde. I'm not saying this is the way to go about it or anything. Like, obviously I didn't mention, but I have highlights now as I've tried to grow the bleach out, just because I wanted a bit of a change. I wanted it slightly more natural looking than what it was, so I've gone for highlights, and that's at the salon because I can't do highlights myself, they are hard. But yeah, so thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video, guys.